Alright, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. We've got low latency on again today. Hope you guys like that. Let's bring it down a couple notches. Memories of Pain. It's not that hard. There are actually some quite difficult parts, but it's mostly like in-game stuff. Alright, let's get switched up here in my headphones. Alright, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another stream. Today we're going to be playing through Demon's Crest on Super Nintendo. Probably one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, actually. I know I've talked about this game quite a few times in the past, because I've done a Let's Play on it. I also did a live stream of it about 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, no, we've already gone through this game multiple times on my channel, but I figured we were overdue for another replay, another playthrough. So the difference today is that we're playing on an analog Super NT, whereas my original Let's Plays and live streams of this were on actual Super Nintendo hardware via RGB. So the analog Super NT is a FPGA hardware recreation of the Super Nintendo. It is it's sort of, I guess you could say it's a very, very high-end clone console that pretty much recreates the Super Nintendo hardware perfectly, just about. And the benefit to that is that it outputs via HDMI. It's razor sharp 1080p, and it just looks fantastic on the capture. We played some Secret of Mana via the Super NT on Saturday, and I was really, really happy with the results. So, we were going to actually do Demon's Crest last week, but then I realized I was going to get my Super NT in the mail over the weekend, so I was like, let's push Demon's Crest off so we can stream it from the Super NT, so you guys will get much better video quality. And but yeah, it looks fantastic. It's really great. So I'm looking forward to going through this game again. I haven't actually played through it since we last did my my last live stream of it. And I think Demon's Crest was actually the first game I did when I started going... I think when I started going weekly in my live stream. So it's been about 2 years now that we've been doing live streams every Thursday night. I've only missed a couple of Thursdays since then. We've gone almost every single week with a live stream here. Sometimes more. Sometimes, you know, we've doubled up and done Saturday streams. Or in the case of Dark Soul, I think I even tripled up and did did 3 streams in 1 week. So, is the video better than the SNES Classic? It's about the same. It's about on par. Yeah. Except, I don't know, you might have a more stable image here. I don't remember if the SNES Classic image, like, shimmers at all. But the actual hardware recreation here is much better than the SNES Classic's software emulator. If you hack an SNES Classic and you put on various ROMs and whatnot, you start to find that there are lots of graphical problems. There are probably some minor sound issues and things like that. So... Again, SNES Classic is just using software emulation. Software emulation is far from perfect. It's come a very, very, very long way, but it's still far from perfect. And this FPGA hardware recreation just gets everything spot on, and everything that would be compatible to a certain extent on an actual Super Nintendo is compatible to the exact same extent here. So you're basically using a brand new version of the old hardware, which is amazing. So I went to FPGA hardware first with my retro USB AVS. So everything that I've done on the NES in the last couple of years here has been via that, so you guys know how solid this stuff can be. And then I bit the bullet because I got a little bit of a bonus at work last week, which I actually didn't think was going to go through, and normally it hits in January, but didn't hit till first week of April. I ended up caving in and ordering the Sega, or the Analog Mega SG as well, which is the FPGA equivalent of the Sega Genesis. So now I'll have FPGA, NES, Genesis, and Super Nintendo consoles, so you guys will get the absolute best quality on stream. And it'll be fantastic for me too, because there's pretty much no input latency, which is another huge benefit to this. So hold on just a moment, guys. So I might be a little sniffly on today's stream. I apologize for that. It's you know, it's close to, we're heading into spring as I do this video, and springtime for me is always allergy season. I noticed myself this week getting a little irritated in the in my nose and my sinuses. Yeah, we'll see how we do with that. But all right, how many of you guys out there have played this game before? For those of you guys that don't know, this is a part of the Gargoyle's Quest series. It's technically the third game in the series. Gargoyle's Quest is a spin-off of the Ghosts and Goblins / Ghouls and Ghosts franchise. So, if you guys are new to my channel, Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, those are some of my favorite games of all time. I've got Let's Plays of several of them on my channel, and several more to come. I played a little bit of the Gargoyle's Quest series. The first one originated on the Game Boy. The second one, I believe, was on Game Boy and Game Gear. Not Game Gear. Game Boy and NES. I've got Game Gear in my mind because of the Mega SG. I did actually beat the NES version of Gargoyle's Quest 2 back in the day. Hopefully we can do that sometime this year, maybe for October. And then Demon's Crest came out in '94 or so. And I didn't get this one right away, but a friend of mine did, and he let me borrow it back in the day. And so I did get to play it a lot back then. It quickly became one of my favorite games in the system. It's got the aesthetics of, say, like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, but the slower-paced, sort of semi-non-linear action-adventure gameplay hybrid that you found with some of the previous Gargoyle's Quest games. And it's a great mixture. It's a great mixture of, you know, trying to find hidden items and power-ups and things like that, with just standard platforming, almost run-and-gun kind of action in a Mega Man X sort of way, except it's Demon's Crest is a much slower-paced game than something like Mega Man X. So if you like the Mega Man games, but you want something a little more, a little bit slower, then Demon's Crest is fantastic. Especially if you like creepy themes. The art design in this game is excellent. The enemy design, all that stuff, the character designs, the backgrounds, and then the awesome soundtrack. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna try to 100% the main game itself, and then if you do that, and you do things in a specific order, you should be able to get a password after the end credits that takes you to the true final boss. I don't know if we're going to try the true final boss. This game probably isn't going to take me that long to go through, maybe 2.5, 3 hours. So I foresee us trying the true final boss at the very least. I don't know if we're going to actually beat him, but I don't know, we'll see. My Let's Play of this game does feature me doing all that. I have one part where I go through the main game and do everything, and then a second part in a separate video where I come back and just do the true final boss. I segmented that into its own video because it is a very, very difficult boss. Probably one of the harder bosses in a platforming game I've played on the Super Nintendo. So, but we'll see. We will try it. Most likely. Yeah, exactly, Mambo. Yep, top tier pixel art, man. I totally agree. Yeah, it's an awesome game. So, but let's do the old Patreon shoutouts first. So as usual, thanks everyone that is continuing to back my channel via Patreon. If anyone's interested in throwing a bone my way and you know, wanting to support the show via Patreon, links are in the description box below. You get videos a couple weeks early as they come out. I know I don't post that many dedicated videos these days, you know, once every 2 weeks, but you do get them 2 weeks in advance. So anyone that wants to catch up on the latest Let's Plays early, that is there. And also, guys, thanks to everyone that's been super chatting. So yeah, thank you guys, and thanks to our current channel members as well. So Deadly Gaming, Unmer, and Tony. For those of you guys that are channel members, remember that you can spam those emotes. So Tony out there, you've got those emotes you can work with, man. So thanks guys for your continued patronage. And so yeah, let's scroll up through the chat, see who all is here so far. And yes, we got Desan, Tony, Alpha, AX, Mambo, April. Welcome back, April. Haven't seen you in a while. Raymond, how's it going, man? Krusty was here. Krusty was one of the first. Office is here early. Sane Well Balanced Horse is here early too. Nice to see you, man. I think you popped in late on my Secret of Mana. No, you commented on the Secret of Mana stream. I don't think you were here live. Joseph, welcome back. Carlos, Jose, Nist. Oh, Nist is, in regards to this game's difficulty, if you don't have the right items for the job or doing that mini game, you gotta get good, man. That mini game is pretty easy. But yeah, no, so this is like what Nist said is not having the right items for the job. Yeah, if you go and do levels in a, I don't want to say the incorrect order, but if you're not fully prepared when you get to certain bosses, then you will get wrecked most likely. One example is our second boss that you can fight in the graveyard, and a lot of times I get wrecked by him, and it's actually more beneficial to skip him and tackle him later, but I'll try to tackle him right away. Let's see, who else? I don't want to be missing anyone. Josh Fry, welcome back. And Akela, DJ, Cyber Demon, Mike, and Jonathan Bays was there super early before the stream. So, but yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoy this stream. And Larry G, Nate Riddle, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Hold on just one more second and we'll get started here. Oh man, springtime. Ugh. Springtime is one of my favorite times of the year in terms of the weather, but it's not one of my favorite times in the year due to allergies and whatnot. So DJ is still hanging out. Hell yeah, man. All right. So it's gonna be a little bit of an intro here. Not well, an intro fight, and then once we do this, we're basically thrown straight into our first level. And we do get permanent health extensions in this game. We actually get our first extension after fighting this guy. So you get main weapon upgrades. You get different forms via crests that you pick up. And there's a specific guy in the game that'll drop crests, and they're basically different like gargoyle forms. But other enemies, like this guy, will end up dropping permanent health increases. And then you can also find permanent health increases in the levels themselves. You'll also find these vials that you can use. You can fill them up at a shop. And you'll have different potions you can use to varying effects. The one that the one that replenishes all of your health is the best one. You also have spell scrolls, and you can use magic in this. Although that's not something I really use very often in this game. And as you can see, you can also hover in the air. All you have to do is just tap the jump button again once you're in the air, then just let go, and then you hover. And that's the permanent health increase right there. So our health is in the top left portion of the screen. We have 5 blocks. It does tie into the Ghouls and Ghosts series, yeah. So this character here, Firebrand, he's actually one of like the reoccurring enemies in the Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts series. Not sure why he got his own spin-off game, but it was a fantastic idea, and I'm glad that, you know, someone at Capcom pitched that to higher execs, because, you know, it's a really fun series. Even the old Gargoyle's Quest games are pretty neat. Demon's Crest, in my opinion, is far superior to, you know, the other Gargoyle's Quest games, but the original Gargoyle's Quest games are still pretty fun, and I do recommend trying them out. So this is a mini-boss. This is a reoccurring mini-boss. We're going to see quite a few times over the course of the game. He does a little three-way shot like that, and then he'll dash across the screen like so. And this is one of those bosses that doesn't seem to have many invincibility frames between hits. So usually what happens in this game is when you hit a boss, they'll blink for a little while, and you won't be able to do any more damage until they're no longer blinking. But this guy doesn't really do that. You can actually get up close and mash the fire button. So with your main fire shot here, you can only shoot one shot at a time. But if you get up close and you time your shots just right, or you just mash the button, you can, you know, you can shoot multiple shots back to back like this. So that's a trick to beating this boss a little bit faster, is getting right up in his face and just mashing the fire button. Just like that. Hey, John Evan, welcome back. That dragon is cool. Stephen Perry, welcome back. Looks like that was another health extension, so we have 6 blocks of health now. Yeah, Raymond, the aesthetic is quite nice. It's, you know, it's actually not a super complex looking game. It doesn't have, lots of, like, super, you know, I don't want to say advanced graphical effects. It doesn't have, like, a ton of background scrolling. Usually it's just, like, 1 or 2 layers. But the art style is just nice, you know, they just did a really nice job with it. And so while it lacks in, you know, tons of, you know, scrolling and things like that, it still looks very appealing. You have this game, you've only played it a little bit. Well, you should play it a little more, John. So as you can see, you can also cling on the walls in this game. And you can jump straight up. We're going to be coming back to this area later on as well, because there is a power-up we can get. It's in these square blocks over there. So, Gargoyle's Quest, or I should say Demon's Crest, is not that complex when it comes to its, like, you know, sort of like adventure elements. So anyone should be able to figure out where most items are in this game on their own without a walkthrough. So this is one of those guys, like I was mentioning, where you hit him, he blinks, you can't actually do any more damage until he's done blinking. And bosses like this always make sound cues when you hit them, letting you know that you've actually done damage, along with the blinking, which should be an obvious visual indicator. But it also makes a sound indication as well. And there we go. Why do you need to buy this game, Liberal Arts Guy? You gotta get a flash cart, man. You guys gotta keep in mind, like, if a game is $100 or more, there's your flash cart. You don't need to buy a $100 game. It's a piece of plastic with some chips inside of it. You don't need it. You don't need it. Get yourself a flash cart. Get yourself a flash cart. Have a field day. Alright, so what I want to do first is, I don't remember if it's this one. Let's see what level this is. So this is the mini game that Nist was talking about earlier. And there are 3 levels of it. And what level is this? No, this is level 2. So I don't really want to do level 2. But by pressing the A button, you can headbutt into the background, which is a really cool feature. And what we want to do is find the hidden level 3. And I think it might be here. Yep, it's here. Gotta support the official release, man. ROMs are killing the industry. Alright, so we end up getting ourselves another health increase by defeating this this bonus level. Now, unfortunately, I only get one try here because I don't really have much gold. So we'll probably have to come back if I mess this up. So, all right, let's try this. I like these ones on the bottom. They're really easy to hit because you don't have to do anything. Wow, we got it. First try. Awesome. That is true. Yeah, if you do have a Wii U, you can get this on the eShop. For those of you guys that... And I do recommend supporting the current industry. Like, I have this on the Wii U, I believe, actually. I don't ever use my Wii U Virtual Console games, but I've actually purchased quite a few. So if you ever feel guilty for using a flash card, if a game is available on a modern system, buy it. By all means, buy it. But don't spend $100 on an actual cartridge or more. Like, you could... There's so many other things you could do with that money. Especially if you're one of those younger, like, more modern collectors out there that probably isn't making more than minimum wage to begin with. You should not be spending your money on stuff like that. Just a word of advice from someone that's been around the block for a while, you know? So, what I like to do in this town is actually grind out a little bit for money and things like that. And you can do so by bashing open all these windows. And this is a great way to build cash, and you can use cash to buy things, although there aren't really that many things to buy. It's mainly potions and spells and things like that. But one thing we also got by defeating Arma, our first boss, is we got our first Crest. And this guy has an air attack like this. Unfortunately, it's not full screen. Holding on the A button, he can dash, like so. And then when he just shoots standing, his attack goes along the ground. This is actually a really powerful attack along the ground. And what we're gonna do is actually, I'm gonna try something here. Actually, I don't know if I should really risk it. No, I'm gonna risk it. Why not? Sometimes you can get items early by just risking. Well, you'll see what I mean in just a moment. All right. Now, I always forget exactly where this is, but I want to say it's down here. And actually, I definitely messed up. Yeah, there it is. There's a empty potion there. So let's go ahead and just go to retry. There's not really much punishment for retrying. I don't even know if you lose your gold, to be honest with you. So one thing I actually could have done differently there was jump up on the wall and then just fly all the way over. So jump up here, like this. And there we go. I'm probably going to end up dying again. Or maybe we'll be able to get back. I don't know. We'll see. So there's a water gargoyle crest you'll get later on. And by using that, you can come down there and you can swim. And you can get that item in safety. Now, there is another... I think it's down here. Let's see if there's a health refill here. Nope, no health refill. Can't remember if it's that one right there. Infinite lives is pretty surprising for 94. Yeah, it actually kind of is, come to think of it. Yeah, it's probably because this game is more of like, it's structured more like an action-adventure game, and not so much like a straight-up action game. You know, it's got the exploration and whatnot. Yeah, here we go. Can we get it? Very nice. And this is our first talisman. The talismans are awesome. So this is the hand, and the hand increases the fire rate. So we are totally going to equip that. So talismans are really good in this game. There's one talisman that gives you more money drops. There's one talisman that makes your attacks more powerful. So notice what I was saying earlier, though, about how you can only fire one shot at a time. Well, with this talisman equipped, we can now fire 2 shots at a time. And then there's another shot you get in the game, which we're going to actually get right now, come to think of it. Normally, it lets you shoot 2 shots. But now, for that one, we're going to be able to shoot 3 shots, which is nice. So, yeah, you know, I took a little bit of extra time there, but we got some upgrades early, which is nice. You know, we sort of did a little bit of a sequence break, which is always fun. I always like sequence breaking, even if it's just the very simplistic kind, like in this game. It's just really fun for me. So again, we're going to have to come back here as well to get that. And using this gargoyle here is actually good for this area because you can cut through multiple enemies and with, you know, one shot basically. So those skull-looking money drops, those are worth 20. The solid silver drops are worth 5, I believe. And then the little sort of egg-shaped ones are only worth 1. And let's switch back to our regular guy. And these drops right there, that's health. And we have to switch back again. Lots of switching in this game. So notice that these candles are lit up right here. We're going to have to light up other ones in order to light the playfield. Always a neat gimmick. I always like that. And it actually really helps with this game's atmosphere, too. You notice that one thing this game has going for it is the atmosphere. And the lights going out and you having to turn them back on, basically, really helps with that atmosphere. It's definitely one of the ways... yeah, definitely one of the areas that this game excels at. Yeah, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to come back to this area as well to get the power-ups. So I'm not gonna linger here too long. And this is gonna take us to our boss fight. Total recall for my next stream. Why my next stream? It's actually a really dark game for a Super Nintendo game? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you don't really have, like, blood and too much guts and things like that, but, yeah, there weren't actually a ton of games on the Super Nintendo that, you know, were, you know, that featured demons and monsters and in fantastical worlds. Not as many as I would like, anyway. I mean, you had the Castlevania games, you had the, you know, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, you had Demon's Crest, you had a couple others. We have to kill these eyeballs first, and then the big one comes out. And getting that talisman was actually a good idea, because it makes hitting these guys a little bit easier. You don't want to touch his green goop, because you'll actually get stuck in it. You can sort of like wiggle and jump your way out, but it's just cumbersome to do, so you're better off just not touching it at all. And having that extra shot makes me be able to mow these guys down a little bit faster. Someone has pink eye. There we go. Good fight. I think either on my Let's Play or my last stream of this, I ended up dying here. And there we go. So we got the Buster. So the Buster can break open those blocks. So one thing I'm going to do is actually head back to the very beginning. Since we have the Buster shot now, we'll go ahead and get that power up from the very beginning. And collect a little bit of money while we're at it. Let's go ahead and switch over to our Buster. See, now we can shoot 3 shots. Normally the Buster only does 2 shots. But with the hand talisman, we can shoot 3 shots. Sometimes it feels a little more like Mega Man X. One of the cool things about the Buster shot is with a lot of these urns here, you can't shoot them when you're standing directly next to them with your regular fire shot. The fire shot just goes over them. But the Buster shot has a larger hitbox, and so you can actually just stand right in front of the urns, and the Buster will actually destroy them. So it takes a little less skill to hit the urns, which is nice. Hey, Chris, welcome back, man. More quality conversation and contents. Well, as long as you think so. I appreciate the kind words, and thanks for stopping in again. Alright. Oops. And there we go, health up. Booger Man. Was Booger Man a good game? I assume it probably wasn't, but I haven't actually played it before. I meant those words. Alright, so one thing I'll do is I'll go to the shop here, and we should be able to buy a couple things. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say, this is kind of going back on the sort of flashcard topic. If you have a Super NT like I do, there's a jailbreak available that lets you load ROMs from a SD card. So if you have a Super NT, you don't even need to buy a flashcard. Just something to keep in mind. All right, let's actually come down here first and check out this door. What's behind door number 1? Yeah, this is the spell shop. So Death, I believe, is the best shop, or not the best shop, the best spell in the game. So we'll go ahead and buy that. And this guy will talk to you, and he'll say different things depending on the form that you're in. Are you a stranger here? Yes, I am. They say that the red demon known as Firebrand has risen. That is me. He nearly burnt the demon realm to ashes years ago. If Phalanx had not rescued us, we would all be dead thanks to that arrogant fool Firebrand. Take care of yourself. And then if you switch to a different form, he'll say something else. The general was wearing a uniform something like yours. I saw him run and break one of those fountains into pieces once. So he kind of acts as a tutorial as well. So bam, he says, oh, you can break fountains with that. But also, the general he was talking about was the guy that we fought in the first level. This guy actually tells you what your talismans do. So you equip a talisman, and it says this is the talisman called Hand. It'll enable you to use your magic more quickly. So you can change to different talismans that you find, and you come back to this guy, and he'll tell you exactly what they do. So the game's actually pretty nice in that regard, where, like, you know, all the information that you need to know is dished out in-game via certain ways, which is really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to grind out for some more cash here. So I just spent 80 bucks on that spell. That spell I'm probably not gonna use, but I like to get my spells and things like that maxed out anyway, just because I can. And you know what I'll do is I'll try to buy a few different spells so I can demonstrate what they do. So we got death already, so I'll try to buy some of the weaker ones. And this shop up here is actually where you buy your potions, I believe. Achilles' Boogerman is worth playing. Uh-oh. Alright, so let's do Ginseng. It's the most expensive, but it basically gives you all of your health back. And I think that's the only potion I'm going to buy in this game. That's really all I want, is I want the one that gives me all my health back. Which we're not going to really need in these early parts of the game. But we are definitely going to need it if we fight the true final boss. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to that underground area that we fought the eyeball boss at. And the reason I'm going to do that is so I can get those power-ups, and then we're going to come back and fight the boss in the graveyard here. So we're going to have to do this level 2 more times. Or this time, and then 1 more time after that. But then we'll basically be done with this area. So the town is a place you constantly go back to, though, because it's, you know, it's a place to grind up for money, to buy power-ups and things like that, or to talk to people to figure out what items do. Here we go, another spell scroll, which is nice. $20 right there. Hey, Shining Dahlia, welcome back. I don't think I've seen you in a while. So the Buster Shot here actually can't light candles, so it's actually best for me to switch off of it. But one of our power-ups is going to be in here. Here we go, permanent health increase. And I believe that's actually it for this area. I don't think there's anything else here. Isn't this supposed to be a hard game? I wouldn't really say it's hard. In most situations, no, I don't think it's hard. There are a couple of hard parts. But no, overall, I'd say it's actually a very manageable game, which is one reason I think it appeals to a lot of people. It's one of those games that I think anyone can pick up and play. Yeah. Bosses will kill you in a few hits if you're not careful, or if more specifically, if you're unprepared. But also if you're not careful, because bosses in this game, they do have patterns. And you have to follow those patterns. You know, say like a Mega Man game or something like that. But you have a lot more tools at your disposal than, well, even a Mega Man game. I mean, you have 5 spell slots, 5 potion slots. Each of those potions can be a full health restore. You've got different gargoyle forms. You got talismans. Like there's a talisman you can get that buffs your defense. So whereas enemies right now will take away a full block of health, with a certain talisman, enemies will only do half damage. Or something like that. But then there's another gargoyle form you get that also does the same thing. And so it's like a double armor buff. So I mean, there are a lot of different things to help you out in this game. So parts can be difficult if you're unprepared. Parts can be really easy if you are prepared. This is not on the SNES Mini, no. Would have been awesome if it was. Alright, so we can actually bust through these blocks as well. And one of these up here gives us a power-up. It might be this one right here. So let's see. Yep, it's that one. I think that's the only power-up here, so we're just going to go ahead and skip through the rest. You can actually bust the armor off these guys. Alright, boss time. So I'm gonna try this. This is actually a pretty tough boss, but you know, I tanked a few hits, and I used this guy's ground attack, because the ground attack is really powerful. Sanewell, it's fantastic, man. You're gonna love it. I absolutely love mine. Alright, which way do I want to go first? It's either this place, or it's this place. It doesn't really matter. We'll go to this place. There we go. We've got a another vial. Alright, so we have some wind physics here, which is pretty cool. I always like that in games. Speaking of which, I was actually playing Super Mario All-Stars today on the Super Nintendo. The Lost Levels. And I forgot there are wind physics in that game. I'm gonna try to do that sometime soon here on YouTube. We ended up making it to World A2, I believe. Very challenging game. I think our main fire shot might actually be more powerful than the Buster. I'm not sure. Nice. Yeah, it is the Dark Souls of Mario games, totally. Although it's not as bad as I remembered, because I think insane Mario Maker levels have boosted my experience quite a bit. Alright, we're gonna come in here, and so we can actually fall down completely. And there should be a door over here. Yeah, they're great, John Evan. And there's another talisman. So this is the crown, and gives enemies a greater chance of dropping money. Which, I'm not really too hard-pressed for. I mean, we're actually doing pretty well in terms of cash. But there's another item we can get up here. There we go. Another scroll. Flawless victory. Your soul is mine. Good old MK movie quote. Alright, so we have to fight Arma again. We're gonna get the, another Crest, which is gonna give us a different Gargoyle form. You haven't played Mario Maker yet, you gotta play it. Although, if you don't have a Wii U, it's gonna be kinda hard to play it. Although, it is on 3DS as well. I'm not sure if you have a Wii U or not. If you do play it, I recommend the Wii U version. But there is Mario Maker 2 that's coming out on Switch, so that's another option for people. But yeah, Mario Maker is so much fun. I'm glad I got into it again a couple months ago. Come on, Arma. Come down. A lot of people actually thought the Mortal Kombat movie was pretty good, Liberal Arts guy. I mean, in terms of video game adaptations. especially when it came out. It's the second one that people really don't like, and for very good reason. The second one is trash. Trash is actually putting it kindly. So here's our next Gargoyle. His attack is actually very powerful. We're going to be using this on a couple of different bosses. So the cool thing about him is you can fly up and down without any issues. You just press A to go up. And then you press B to fall, just like you would with Firebrand normally. Yeah, I saw MK and I, the second one in theaters as well. Oh man, it was one of my worst theater experiences ever. It was bad. It was really bad. Alright, we're gonna switch up. So if you fight this guy before you fight Arma, he's a lot harder. If you just have to, if you just fight him with Buster or something like that. Alright, so now this gives us, I believe, Claw, yeah. And so you can actually shoot this against spikes to create sort of wall platforms. And that's it for that whole area. We're done. We're done with that whole area. So we're gonna go to the sort of forest area. A place opens up here. Then another place opens up in the mountains, and then another place opens up, is it in the water? I don't know, there's a water place we go to. Yeah, it should be, no, actually the water place is probably right here. Yeah, so stuff unlocks as you go through the game as well. Mega, it's because you went the wrong way. You have to go into that sort of vortex in order to fight Arma. There are basically two paths you can go on that level. One takes you to Arma, one takes you to that big insect guy that we just fought. So there should be another vial here somewhere. There it is. Let's get that first. Got it. And now we're going to come down here. Switch back over to Firebrand. Now this kind of isn't really an ideal place to be. But we'll run with it and see what happens. Yeah, I'm glad I got the hand right away, because it's been making fighting a bunch of these enemies and bosses a little bit easier, because I can shoot more frequently. Yeah, you do need, every single item and whatnot to get a certain good ending. There are actually, like, 4 or 5 different endings in this game. And then there's a final ending you get by getting everything, killing the real final boss, getting a password at the end, and then entering the password and fighting the true final boss, which is very difficult. Alright, we're gonna have to end up coming back here, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying unfortunately. It's like, it's par for the course for this game. You have to revisit almost all the areas multiple times. Ooh, we're not doing any damage to this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna have to switch over to these guys. The nice thing about this, though, is we can... Oh, by the way, let's go ahead and use death. Oh, that was garbage. Oh. Nice. Wanted to see if I could do that without using a potion. Alright, right back to it. The Ultra HDMI is great, Liberal Arts Guy. We played it quite a bit on Twitch last week. Yeah, Ultra HDMI is, it's very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. Going from compositor S video is, it's great. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually go to the boss fight, because... I can't remember how it works, but I think the trees, they burn down. And I think they only burn down after you beat the boss. How much did I pay for it? Well, how much you're going to pay for it, Liberal Arts Guy, depends on if you can mod the system yourself. The kits themselves, I don't think are that expensive. But for me, it ended up being a little over $200. And actually more than that, because I had to ship the system out and then pay for return shipping. Which was about, you know, $35 in itself. Yeah, I think it was about... If you count the shipping both ways, it was probably like $230. It's not cheap. But if you can do the mod yourself, which it's an advanced mod from what I understand. But yeah, there's our armor. That decreases the amount of damage that we take. But I'm going to stick with the hands, because the hand just makes the gameplay flow a little bit smoother. And we're going to go ahead and use the aerial gargoyle here. Yeah, Kella, me too, man. I'm looking forward to doing more variety streams and stuff like that. Absolutely. This guy just bounces up and down like this. He's very easy to hit. You just walk under him, like so, when he's on his way up. Very easy to avoid. I love the graphics in this game, man. And with the Super NT, it's a lot easier to see all that detail too. When you play it on like via composite on a CRT, it's not quite as noticeable, the details. Yeah, you can buy pre-modded Ultra HDMI systems. They'll usually run you about 250 or 300 or something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right, Dasan. Hey, Society. Gotta go to bed. Alright, take care, man. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Yeah, so there's one. There are two more things we want to get here. One is the health increase, which is right before the boss fight. But the trees that were at the boss fight are now going to be burned down. They're going to be gone. But I also wanted to come down here because there are a couple of items to get here as well. I think I might need the Buster attack. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I do. Fortunately, we have a potion here that we can use. Now, that actually might be it. I actually probably don't need to come in here. This takes us to that first boss we fought. Yeah, actually there's nothing down here, come to think of it. So let's just go back. Look at that, full health. I love the ways you can just sequence break. Like, normally you'd probably want to only come down here once you have, like, the underwater gargoyle. The water crest, or whatever it's called. I like that flexibility in games. I really like that. It's one of the things that's fun about some of the Mega Man X games is, in the first one in particular, you can sequence break in a lot of places, which is really fun. It makes it so there's a lot of variety when you replay a game. That's never a bad thing. So there we go. And one thing that's nice about this game too is when you know what to do, you get upgraded pretty rapidly in this game. You feel like there's a constant progression, a constant upgrade progression, which feels good. Space Megaforce actually is not one of my favorites, but yeah, no, I've actually played through it multiple times. I did a Let's Play on the game a few years ago, and then I did a Super Nintendo Shmups live stream sometime last year. It was like a 12-hour stream. Space Megaforce was the first game we played on that stream, and I ended up beating the game on that stream. Okay, okay, so this place is open now. Now, the place in the mountain should be open too. I'd like to go to the place in the mountain first, because we can get ourselves another crest here. Hey, Clifton, how's it going, man? And Boston Burf. Alright, so we can fly all the way up here. Another vial. So what I'm going to do is actually come all the way up here first. There are two ways to go here. If you go the upper route, you will go to where you can fight Arma. And we'll get one of the best crests in the game. And I like to use that crest on this main boss. Thanks, Akela. Yeah, I plan on doing more shmup variety streams. Shmups need, more exposure. My streams don't give them the most exposure, because my channel isn't that large. But, any exposure is good exposure. Oops. Hey, thanks, Chris. Thanks, GD. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we did get this power-up as well, where you can actually form platforms. Just neat, but it's not really all that useful. Because you have the aerial gargoyle, like Mambo mentioned earlier. You can just use this. It's kind of redundant. Some power-ups in this game are definitely redundant. Crusty, what advice would I give someone who wants to start streaming? Have a decent computer. First and foremost. Yeah. Oh, you can walk on him. I never knew that. I just learned something new. I wonder if that's something you can only do with the ground gargoyle. I want him to come down here so I can try to hop on him again. Yeah, sure enough. You can hop on his back. I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't think I'd still learn something new about this game all these years later. Alright, let's switch back to this guy. Yeah, I wonder if it's a ground gargoyle thing or if it's just the boss. No, you've always been able to. Interesting. You can't touch his head, though. That's really cool. I wonder if it's all of them or if it's just this one. Why use a decent computer when you can stream at 480p? Yeah, don't stream at 480p. I mean, yeah, actually, you know what's funny? Streaming at 480p might be okay if you only do gameplay itself, and you're only recording with composite. Real gamers stream at 1440p. Real gamers stream at less than the source material. But no, yeah, as far as streaming, having a good PC is crucial. Because when you stream, you want a consistent stream. Like, for one, you want your stream to work. Two, you don't want to have dropped frames. Well, there are different types of dropped frames. You get dropped frames, from a connection standpoint. But you also get dropped frames, by having a PC that's not powerful enough. Your footage will look choppy. So you need a decently powerful PC. Alright, there we go. There's another talisman. And that, halves the damage taken. Oh, I thought we already got the armor. We actually got the skull, which, increases health drops. But yeah, powerful PC. Decent microphone. Audio is one of my biggest pet peeves with streaming. And you don't need, like, something professional. You just need something like, a Blue Yeti. Blue Yetis actually sound really good for what they are. Even better when you add, you know, compression and other filters and whatnot. And then you just need software, you know. OBS, Open Broadcaster Studio, is really the recommended choice. And if you're doing console stuff, you obviously need a capture card. And if you get yourself a modern capture card, some of them are HDMI only, so you would need some form of upscaling. Or you can get yourself one of the cheaper USB dongle capture cards that still do composite or S-video. Personally, I've gone the upscaler route because everything looks a lot better. Another tip, though, with your streaming is to make sure you're running streams at 60 FPS. It looks so much nicer. It's a lot easier on the eyes. If you run streams at 30 frames a second, there are a lot of games where, like, say, Contra, when you die and you come back, you're blinking. Half those frames will be dropped and you'll look invisible on stream if you're running at 30 frames a second. Same with something like Mega Man. Yeah, 60 FPS is another recommendation. Don't forget personality. I mean, yeah, I mean, personality definitely helps. I lack that in spades. But I mean, just be yourself and have fun. That's a big part. But you definitely want something that looks inoffensive. You know, you want your video quality to be nice and crisp. And one reason you want your video quality to be nice and crisp is you're gonna look back on your streams years later and wish that you had gone all out in the beginning. So you can go back and watch my earlier videos and sort of track the evolution of video quality. And my older stuff is very, very difficult to look at because it's so soft, it's so blurry. Fortunately, I did some audio stuff, like, before I was getting into YouTube, so I already had a decent mic. Once I started doing, actually recorded videos and not just, like, shooting my TV with the camcorder, So I had that advantage right from the beginning. But my video quality was crap for the longest time. It was very bad. And it wasn't until 2016, really, 7 years after I started YouTube, that my video quality started to actually become decent. Because I got a FrameMeister upscaler at that point. And even for the systems where I couldn't do, say, RGB, the FrameMeister would still make things like composite and S-Video look a lot better than they were before. You know, it does a really good job on even old connections, like, or lower connections, not old connections. Everything's old by this point. You know, you don't have to start off with something like a FrameMeister upscaler. But it is something to consider later on down the road as you stream more. And even if you're just using composite or S-Video with the low-end capture card, having things like running your stream at 1080p, 60 frames a second, which requires a beefy computer, goes a long, long way. So here we go. This is the next Crest I was talking about that I wanted for this fight specifically. But it's very good. Your defense is boosted quite a bit. And the shot you have here is very, very powerful. So this guy can't be hit again when he's glowing, which makes him tough, and he's very, very fast. Yes, great advice, John Evan. Don't be Darkside Phil. Yeah. Composite still looks like composite Boss and Burf through the FrameMeister, and it's going to be your only option if you've got an original NES, for instance, right? But the jump from composite to S-Video is actually bigger than the jump from S-Video to anything else. So S-Video actually can look really good through the FrameMeister. You know, if you play something like Saturn through S-Video or something like that, you'll be able to pick out all the pixels like you would, you know, with RGB or something. Composite, not so much, but it'll still look a lot better than it would going through a cheap scaler or going straight into an original Elgato Game Capture HD or a Hapog HD PVR. Nice, Krusty. Thanks for the super chat, man. Yeah, if you ever need advice, you know, you can just pop onto my Discord, post in like the hardware and mod section, and I can help you out. I've helped out a lot of people. I've helped out like Salad Nate. I've helped out Boss and Burf in the chat, you know, and a lot of other people that have gotten into streaming. So I'm always willing to help. So let's go ahead and come here. Yeah, so coming to this place is going to give us our water gargoyle crest. And so once we have the water gargoyle crest, we're going to have to come back here and then go underwater. So having that crest helps you get some other items in the game, but as you saw earlier, we basically sequence broke. Oh well, we have all the the scrolls and vials already. I didn't realize that. Another health upgrade. Alright, so you can actually end up falling down into this hole here, so you want to watch out for that. It's a mistake I used to make all the time back in the day. Alright, so let's switch back over. By the way, we also got one of the most powerful attacks, Demon Fire. I actually prefer using the legendary Gargoyle instead. It's similar strength. And I think... yeah, we can just use this. This guy is going to have an eyeball that opens, and that's the weak spot. And he tosses out enemies like this. Yeah, definitely check out Boss and Burf's channel. Everyone out there, actually. If you like RPGs in particular, that's what he specializes in. He plays other random games too, but it's mostly RPGs. Right on, Clifton. Well, if you ever need help with that too, once you get up and running, or start thinking about it more, just let me know. I can help you out there. Get you in the right direction. Alright, this is our water crest. Yeah, it came from Splatterhouse. Definitely looks like it. Absolutely. How much money do we have? 380? 385? Okay, so we're not capped out. I don't remember if there's a cap in this. It might be 999, or it might be less. Krusty actually got me to buy a Denshin to Go controller for PlayStation. I still haven't bought the games. The store was supposed to have the games in stock, but they couldn't find them when I got there, and I never went online and bought the games. So I'll have to do that soon. Yeah, the music could definitely fit well in a Castlevania game. Particularly a Metroidvania, I feel. I mean, similar gameplay styles, really, with the sort of non-linear progression. Alright, I'm just gonna exit out here if it lets me. Because I know I can go back and go underwater, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on that first underwater section. The track play now is basically a Castlevania 4 track, yeah, it's very similar. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch over to our water gargoyle. And I'm gonna switch back to the armor so we take less damage here. You can press A to swim forward like this. And you'll speed up a little bit if you do that. So notice that that hit only took away half of a block of health. So that's our armor in action. Yeah, that's where we would have fallen down. But I could have just come back and fallen down. I didn't need to actually exit the level, but that's okay. I just wanted to make sure. It's been a couple years since I last played this game, so some details are definitely a little foggy. I'm actually playing pretty well, all things considered, for not having played the game in a couple years. But, like I said, I played this game a lot back in the day, and it's a game I've actually gone back to several times over the years. So it's one of those games that has always remained relatively fresh in my mind. But to me, it's also a game that's not that difficult overall. A lot of the areas are very basic. They're not very complex. Like right here, you just press A, and that's it. Same right here, press A. And stuff like that has always stuck out to me. You know, it's very basic. It's fun, though, you know? It's not super demanding, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can still get wrecked pretty easily. So it's still satisfying. Even though it's simple. It is nice that there's a sort of a longer water level in this game, because this gargoyle wouldn't really serve much purpose without like a dedicated, a dedicated level like this. Like, there are a couple of other water sections in the game, but they're not very long. So it's nice that there's a section dedicated to this guy. And you can shoot your shot just over these coral reefs. And you can hit these guys without having to encounter them head on. Just like that. The timing is a little tricky, but once you get it down, it's not too bad. Alright, so I always like to use a bit of a trick here. So you should use the water gargoyle, but I'm going to use the legendary gargoyle with the armor. Now, he's already got an armor buff. And then with the other armor, talisman, I can get an extra buff. This is one of the only issues, though, is he does this attack, not really attack, but this pattern that keeps you from being able to sit on the ground, which is kind of annoying. You can constantly switch back and forth, too, if you want to do this strategy. Just like that. Oh, Crusty, do you have a Densha controller for Saturn? I always forget, like, they made those on Saturn as well. Alright, I think that's it for that level. So that should open up the main palace here. Do I have everything? I don't think I have everything. I'm trying to remember what I'm missing. I think the last few items might actually be in this area. But, let's go back to town. Yeah, let's go back to town. Yeah, I need one more talisman. The last talisman is actually in the final place. And then this last crest is actually... I think you get that after you beat the game. Yeah, and I think our last health upgrade is actually in the final place, too. Okay, so no, we're good, actually. We're good. Let's go ahead and get some money so we can buy lots of, Well, we're only an hour and a half in. We're already at the last place in the game. This actually went a little bit faster than I anticipated. I am gonna go for the truest final boss, yeah. I mean, especially now that we've got lots of extra time. Yeah, my main goal is not so much the death spell, so much as it is the ginseng potions. Because the final boss of the main game itself is actually pretty difficult. So we definitely want the potions for that. Oh, there's a controller for Wii as well. I didn't know that. Interesting, man. Very interesting. Nice. Okay. Sweet. We're maxed out on ginseng. We can get drunk tonight. Giving me some good money, but I am using the crown, which makes money drop more frequently. I wish I could break glass and have money magically appear. That would be great. Why can't real life be more like a video game? Yeah, so we can talk to this guy now and he's gonna freak out. No, you're dead. You can't be. That red demon. Please don't kill me. Alright, so we'll just buy a bunch of these. There's Shadow. Hold. Your enemies will hold in one place for a short time. Imp. An imp will appear and work for you. You must have money to keep him employed. That's actually pretty clever. Shock. The earth will quake and the enemies on the ground will be damaged. And then, of course, death. I wonder if the imp will actually help you in the final boss. I need to try that. We got 376 gold. Okay, so we can go ahead and get out of here. You know, not after breaking a lot more glass, because it's addicting. Hey, Phantom Photon! Thank you for the super chat, man. Great game. It is a great game. It's awesome. I love this game. It's so good. It's not very demanding. I can just kind of chill back, relax, run through it, have a good time. Soak up the visuals, sound, and gameplay. And always have a good time. Alrighty, last place. Gonna attack these guys, because they're a pain. These guys are quite a bit of a pain as well. Yeah, and we'll just skip him. And it's the Griffin once again. Oh, let's actually switch over to our hand. Getting extra money pretty much just is no good right now. And one thing I can also try is this one. Nah, let's go back. I like that extra defense. This guy is so powerful anyway. Sliding clowns. We are truly in hell. Phantom Photon, absolutely, man. I agree, I'm there with you. I usually like harder games, but the nice thing about this game is it does get hard, you know? It's not like the whole game is a cakewalk. There are parts that are quite challenging. Like the real final boss, or the first final boss that we're gonna experience coming up here shortly is quite difficult. And I'll point them out once we get to them, because we've got multiple final bosses to fight. Alright, this should be our last health upgrade here, I believe. So we bang the bell. Yep, there it is. Alright, we're gonna switch over to this guy. And there's gonna be a little cubby that we have to fall into, and that's gonna be where our last talisman is. And it's down here. There it is. Yeah, so that was actually the Fang, which increases our damage output, which is nice, actually. I usually stick with the armor, though, because some of these last few bosses are a little tough to avoid. So it's good having that, that extra defense. Why is it not called Gargoyle's Quest 3? Because Demon's Crest sounds a hell of a lot cooler. I'm actually glad it's not called Gargoyle's Quest 3. Also, Demon's Crest might insinuate that it's a new story, not really attached to the first two games. But it's still technically a part 3 in my eyes. Infinity War Firebrand. Basically. Alright, another one of these wolves. Wow, look at that. With the Fang, we killed him in like 4 or 5 hits. Nice. So that's what's nice, is you can switch, you know, switch up as much as you want. To give you a lot of flexibility in how you, you take on certain bosses in this game. The Infinity Crest? Yeah, that might be the last one you get from beating, this guy. Or the next guy. Can't remember which one it is. How many different endings are there? There are at least 4 or 5. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and... we'll use the Fang. Wow, that just wrecked him. Alright, second form. And it's gonna be a third form after this. After beating the game, I'm not sure about that. I don't give a thumb. I'm really not sure about that. I'm not sure if the game... So, if you don't get the best ending, I'm not sure if the game gives you a password after the credits. I don't think it does. So, as long as you've got a password before you beat the game, you can just use that password, go get everything you missed, and then go back to this, and then you'll get the right ending. Yeah, Crest of Infinity. Mambo was right. Alright, so this is the real final boss. Not the true final boss, but it's the real final boss of the main game. And then, once you beat this guy, you'll get a password that lets you fight the true final boss. And this guy can be quite difficult as well. Oops, I didn't mean to take a hit. Alright, let's go ahead and use some ginseng. Hey, Manfred, welcome back. If you get stuck in the back, you can get screwed pretty quickly. Nice. That Fang actually helped out a lot. With the Fang, without the Fang, it probably would have taken twice as many hits. Thanks, guys. So we'll let the credits roll out here, and then after that, it'll give us a password that we'll input, and it'll allow us to fight the real final boss, or the true final boss, and easily the most dangerous boss in the game. So for those of you guys that haven't seen it, you'll be in for a treat. It's quite difficult, but I think we're gonna end up having to grind out a little bit as well, because I think when you use the password, I think you start with no money and no potions, so you'll have to buy new potions. Thanks, Cyber Demon. Thanks, everybody else. I should not play the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. I have no idea what I'm going to stream next. For a Thursday stream, I do want to finish my Secret of Mana playthrough, which I'm going to try to be back Saturday to do. I don't know if we'll actually finish it on Saturday, but I do want to play it again on Saturday. So I'm hoping to do that. And as far as next Thursday, I have no idea. I've got things jotted down, but I have to look at my list and see what I actually want to do. You heard I wanted to play Doom. Yeah, I might do that. I might not. I might wait for that. Because I plan on rearranging my game room. I got a old PC VGA CRT monitor in the mail this week, and I want to get that permanently hooked up, and I want to use my old retro computers on that when I stream. But I have to rearrange my game room, and I plan on rearranging the game room in a couple of weeks. I have a new desk on the way, so I'll have more storage space for streaming and recording. But yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to Doom Eternal. Absolutely, man. Hey, Greg N. Welcome back. Yeah, for those of you guys that missed it, we did play through about 9 hours of Secret of Mana on Saturday. So if you've played the game before, we got all the way up to the point where you get Flammy. And so that's where we're gonna start off on our next stream. Alright, I'm going to step away for just a quick moment. I will be right back while this rolls out. Mambo, I have not played that. What is that? Tell me more about it. It's a Japanese Super Nintendo game with an English patch available, sort of a jump and shoot game like this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely need to play that then. Don't ever be sorry that you use emulation or Virtual Console. Don't give in to stupid rising retro game prices. This is coming from someone that owned all these games when they were affordable. Remember when I got a complete in-box copy of Demon's Crest for 30 bucks? And I thought at the time, man, this is expensive. Yeah, don't give in to rising retro prices, guys. It's not worth it. Not everything is really expensive, so I understand buying physical games in a lot of cases, but stuff like this, it's not worth it. Unless you're just like a super hardcore collector, you're going for lots of rares and, you know, it's one thing. But if you're just a gamer, if you're more of a gamer than a collector, it is not worth shelling out the cash for these things. All right. So this should eventually change to a password screen. So we'll go ahead and just let this sit here for a little while. Yeah, you like to say that, liberal arts guy, but my salary hasn't increased all that much since then, so I don't buy the whole inflation argument. People like to blame inflation, but I can tell you my salary hasn't inflated with inflation either. So, yeah, definitely not an argument I buy. My spending power has not increased that much, yet games have gone up significantly, so... All right, there we go. Great thing about doing this on a computer, not on a computer, but live streaming, is I can just take a snapshot, paste it into MS Paint, and crop it. And actually what I'm going to do is, for anyone that is curious, is I'm going to post this on Twitter as well. And so let's go ahead and post that. And for anyone that's curious, and anyone that's on Twitter, feel free to follow me over there. But there is the password in case you ever need it in the future. So with that, let's see. Let's switch over real quick. We have to reset the console. And then start it up again. Hey, Tony, thank you so much, sir. Hey, Gerald, welcome back. Yeah, so as far as physical games are concerned, we've talked about this before, but myself personally, I generally... Oh, that freaked me out for a second. That was the super chat sound. You know, I generally buy stuff that's affordable. You know, I buy a lot of PS2, a little bit of Xbox, Wii U, stuff like that. And I buy the occasional modern game. I only buy a couple of brand new games a year. Like, I bought Devil May Cry 5 a few weeks ago. I'm gonna buy Doom Eternal. I might buy Sekiro later this year. And that'll probably be one of the only, some of the only brand new titles I buy. But when it comes to older consoles, I try to keep things affordable and manageable, you know? I come from an era where you could get a lot of money. You can get a lot of games for $50. You know, even a place that's a little more expensive like East Starland, I can walk up to Starland, drop $50 on PS2 games, and walk out with like 10 titles. You know, you can't do that with Super Nintendo. It's... You can't even pay for Demon's Crest for $50. You know, it's just... It's not worth it, you know? So... Like I said, I try to urge people to not give in to the prices. As someone who's been around the block for, you know, collecting since the mid to late 90s, it's not worth the money. Alright, so FFF. NRR. Alright, DD. LR. XGT. And Q. Oh man, Wild Guns. Thanks for the reminder on that, actually. I bought the PS4 remake last year, and I barely played it. Alright. Yeah, so we need to get, we need to buy all of our potions, but we have the ultimate Gargoyle now. Which can fly up and down, like the aerial Gargoyle. And he's got a very, very powerful shot as well. Let's go ahead and equip that crown. And let's get some money! Oh, that's right, he can't headbutt on the ground. But he can charge on the ground. How much money do I have? 50, yeah, it starts you off at 0 gold. Nintendo Power Players guys have skyrocketed in price. Really? I need to check to see if I still have the Super Mario 3 strategy guide. And I know I still have the Final Fantasy strategy guide. Because when I was playing Final Fantasy 1 on Twitch a few years ago, I busted it out and used it as a guide. Just like I did back in the day. Oh, you can! You hold up. Thanks, Mambo. Dude, something else I learned today. Thanks a lot. I had no idea. That's very useful. Time to lower the town's real estate value. Yeah. Breaking all those windows. Oh. That's funny, Mambo. I didn't know that either. I've learned 3 things in this playthrough today. That's great. Thanks, guys. How did I not know he had a charge shot? Now this game is even more like Mega Man. Nice, you can cut through multiple blocks. I wonder how much damage that charge attack does. Like, I could use it on the final boss here. I might... Oh, man, they're giving me some good money. I might actually have enough cash. Oh yeah, we've got enough. Nice, Mambo. Okay, we're gonna try that then. I'm gonna try to do the charge shot. Because I always fought the true final boss, just one shot at a time. This game looks gorgeous. That's why I love 2D pixel art games. Yeah, it's... The visuals have held up very well over time. Alright, I want to try Imp. I don't know if it's going to actually help me, but... Why not, right? We'll have to grind out for some cash. I've never actually used Imp. Let's actually try it out. It's one of the P-Tite imps from Ghosts and Goblins. That's funny, man. I like that. That's awesome. That's a great homage to Ghouls and Ghosts. And so 90... 80... Wow, he really eats up your gold fast. Okay, I have to actually exit, then come back, because he's gonna eat up all my gold. Actually, I can probably go into a door. He's probably not gonna do anything on the final boss, but we'll try anyway. Probably Saturday, Carlos. I already talked about it like a half hour ago. Probably Saturday. I don't know for sure. I'm aiming for it. I've got a friend that actually wants to hang out, but I told him that I might have to take a rain check and do it next weekend, so I can stream Secret of Mana this weekend. Yeah, I do want to finish the game ASAP. I don't want to sit on it. Because for one, I just want to play the game. I'm having fun with it. That's right, Demon's Crest, classic game. Hell yeah. Okay, come on. There you go. Probably not next stream, Liberal Arts Guide, no. But it is something I'm gonna do soon. The thing about that is, like, I think I want to do Ultimate Doom and Doom 2 in one stream. Because I've done them a bunch separately, but I want to do them both together back to back. Which is probably going to wear me out, but, you know, whatever. Okay, I think that's good. So let's switch over to the Fang. And actually switch to that first. I do want to do Nightmare eventually, but that's something I have to heavily practice for. I've never beaten Nightmare. In Doom 1, I've only made it to stage 5. Episode 1, map 5 on Nightmare. It's very, very difficult. You have to know the game perfectly to do it. think it's in here. No, it's not. Oh, crap. Oh, double crap. We have to go through all this all over again. Oops. Oh well, not a big deal. Hey, Zaku. Oh yeah, some quality slowdown. Crestline is back! Welcome back, Crestline. I think I actually might have gone to the wrong area. I think there's actually... Come to think of it, I think there's a new place on the map that opens up. And I'm just an idiot and forgot about it. I told you not everything was going to be perfect about this playthrough. It's been a couple years since I've last played it. These are the worm things from, tentacle worm things from the first level in Ghouls and Ghosts Arcade. And its subsequent ports. Oh, that's right, you can go fight all the bosses again if you want. And just annihilate them. Wow, 3 hits? I think that was 3 hits. 3 or 4. Zaku, yeah, I beat it twice, and I'm working on Dante Must Die right now. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's alright. Alright, so let's see what we got here. There it is. Alright, so this place opens up. I have not Krusty, no. The only Gargoyles quest I played through, not counting this one, is the second one on NES. Uh-oh. And that was actually back in the 90s, after I played this game. Alright, so here we go, guys. Wish me luck. I don't think the little imp is gonna help me, but I wanted to try it anyway. Oops! Yeah, actually the charge Mambo might be a little too difficult, because I accidentally just used a potion by accident. Look at how much damage that does. Oh, no. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, and our little imp guy just disappeared. Oh, man. Yeah, that makes sense, Mambo. That's definitely the better way to do it if you're going to use the charge. I'm playing this claw-handed right now. It's a little weird. The randomly disappearing hitbox? Yeah, so when this guy blinks, he can't be hit. When he, like, fades to black. So you just have to wait. Yeah, it is quite difficult, John, yeah. God damn it. Got it. Yeah, Mambo, I think the charge actually did help out. Because normally it takes me longer to kill this guy. It's an endurance battle for sure. But yeah, no, I was seriously playing claw-handed. I had my thumb on Y and B, and my my index finger kind of looped around on the A button. Very uncomfortable and very awkward to get used to on a fight like that. But it worked out because I was able to charge up. Alright, see ya, Krusty. Huzzah! Yeah, you're right, Mambo. It's the only boss that doesn't change color. So you never know exactly how far to the end you are. Thanks, Tony. I love seeing those emotes in the chat. And then 10 days later, Firebrand gets two-shotted by Arthur and from Ghouls and Goblins. He's like, man, I really wish I held onto those crests. Hey, no problem. I don't give a thumb. Hope to see you again. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you enjoyed the stream. But yeah, we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes because that's it. We did everything in the game. And I learned a few new things too, so I'm glad I played this again. I had no idea about the charge ability. And then we learned that you could walk on those, the insect boss. And then I also learned that you can stand and headbutt with the ultimate Gargoyle. So that was pretty cool. Learned a few things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Running on the Super NT. Hey, no problem, Shining Dahlia. Thanks for hanging out. Take care. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. So anyone that has to head out now, you know, this is it. This is the end of the stream. I can hang out for a little bit and answer any questions or whatnot that you guys have. But yeah, that's Demon's Crest. And it's such a good game. It's like I said, it's one of my favorites from back in the day, and I like to go back to it once every couple of years. Because kind of like something like, I don't know, something like Mega Man X, it's not a very demanding playthrough in that it doesn't require a lot of my time, but it's, you know, it takes more than a half an hour. You know, it's going to take you at least 2 hours to get through the game. And it's a satisfying playthrough. It's good. Tony, yes I am. Yeah, very shortly after this. Raymond, how do I feel about Halo coming to stream? Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great, man. I love the Halo games, and being able to play them with keyboard and mouse, with probably better detail settings and better visual effects than the console ones, I think it's fantastic. And man, Halo Reach on PC. I mean, that one hasn't even gotten an Xbox One port yet, I think. I don't even think it's backwards compatible. Is it? I need to double check on that. Well, we're gonna go to Twitch, Red Zero, in a little bit. But yeah, as far as the YouTube stream, we're basically done because, I mean, it only took us 2.5 hours to get through the whole game. Oh, Halo Reach is backwards compatible. Okay. I need to double check and see if I have Reach. I don't think I do, but I think it's pretty cheap. Steve's playing a game called Sonic Blast Man. My information for Twitch should be in the description. Yeah, thanks guys, I appreciate it. You're gonna introduce the girlfriend to Halo and Halo 3. Hell yeah. Definitely worth it. Now you realize you should have went by Crest. You shouldn't have went by Crestline. You might become a Gargoyle. Nice one, Crestline. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, that's an awesome end pick. He's been nude the whole game. Uh-oh, watch out, that Crest is nude too, guys. Shield yourselves. Who is the guy you fought after him on the floating platforms? That was Phalanx as well. He was using the last Crest in the game to change to that form. Avert thine eyes. Oh man. Yeah, there we go, man. Demon's Crest, such an awesome game. Such an awesome game. I love this game. Like I said, I like going back to it every couple of years. It's just a good time. Yeah, take it easy, Carlos. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I was surprised to see you here early, Office. Normally you don't pop in until a couple hours in. Oh man. Hey, no problem, John Evan. Thanks to you as well for watching. So if you guys have any last minute questions or comments or anything like that, I can stick around for a few more minutes and just sort of chat it up with you guys. Otherwise, we'll end the stream. And archive actually should hopefully be up by morning because it's a very short stream. It should process really quickly. It's usually because you forget it's Thursday. Gotcha. Okay. What type of stuff do I do on my Twitch channel? It's mostly the same type of stuff, retro. I don't take that stream very seriously, though. It's more of like a casual stream. I mean, this is kind of casual, too, but I have a game plan for this stream, and I sort of conduct myself a little bit differently here. You know, I try not to curse much here. I curse a lot on Twitch, for instance. I also have a tendency of drinking lots of alcohol on Twitch, which isn't really good, but They're interesting streams. And Twitch for me is a lot of it is I just kill time on Twitch. I practice games for YouTube Let's Plays and live streams. I also play some more modern stuff sometimes. Like I was playing Devil May Cry these last couple weeks. Devil May Cry 5. I play a lot of Doom on Twitch. Yeah, just a wide variety of stuff. It all depends. Hey, see ya, Zanctum. Good to see you again. You're always that guy, liberal arts guy. I think you are like the only one that constantly asks me about Quake 64. Maybe. I mean, I was waiting to get my Ultra HDMI system back. Like, the system was gone for about 4 months, so I couldn't even do anything in 64 in that time span. So, maybe soon, maybe not. I don't know. I did Quake 3 a little while ago, and we're probably gonna do classic Doom again soon. So I'm gonna try to space out the FPS games in the similar franchises. So Quake and Doom are kind of related in my eyes. So if I do classic Doom, I'll probably wait a little while to do Quake 64. The Quake 64 is the last one I need to do that I care about. Well, that and Quake 4. Then I'd like to do Quake 1.5, which is a PC mod, which adds new bosses and levels, and it's overhauled the visual style. What am I going to stream on Twitch? I'm probably going to do more Super NT. And then, depending on where the drinks take me, we might switch to something else. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time with the Super NT in the last week, outside of my Secret of Mana stream and this, so I do want to play some more games. Well, we might switch to something else after. If you don't have Kick in Super Bomberman 1, how do you beat the final boss? I don't think you can. You have to kick the bombs into the guy's head. But if you don't have Kick, I'm pretty sure it drops Kick after a little while. It should drop the power-up after a little while. And the only reason I know that is I was, one of the guys I follow on Twitch was actually playing it a few weeks back, and I got to see him fight the final boss. I actually did buy a Mega SG this week, so it'll hopefully be here in a few weeks. The website says it'll take 2 to 3 weeks to ship. I ordered it, I think I ordered it Monday morning. I wasn't gonna buy one, but I ended up with some extra cash in my pocket, and the jailbreak sort of tipped me over the edge. Because now I'll be able to do Game Gear streams from real hardware. So I'm looking forward to that. There are a lot of Game Gear games I want to cover. So definitely looking forward to that. And the other benefit is that I can stop using my Genesis RGB setup and just bypass the upscalers completely. So I'm gonna hook the Mega SG up to my Sega CD Model 2, and I'll pack up my Genesis Model 1. And then for 32X, I'll just use my Model 2 with the 32X attached and go through the upscalers again. Yeah, exactly. That's the Game Gear is a big reason why I wanted it, because I don't really need one, because the Genesis RGB through an upscaler like the Framemeister or the line doubler like OSSE is just fantastic. But it's also cumbersome because you've got two big AC adapters, you got all these cables, you know, this hodgepodge of cables. So the Mega SG will just make everything a lot more convenient. It's not going to get compatibility with 32X, Tony, not with HDMI anyway. They're talking about making a digital to analog converter, so you can use the 32X, but you would have to output via RGB. They're not going to have a solution where you can do it through HDMI. Or if they do, there's going to be some conversion involved. There'll probably be input lag as a result. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Game Gear D. The Game Gear was my first handheld. I had it before the Game Boy, actually. So, I played a lot of, like, the Sonic games, I played a lot of Predator 2, a lot of Wonder Boy, a lot of Columns, and a bunch of other games that, I'd love to do live streams on. So that'll be really fun. $32X mod for Streets of Rage or Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, like add extra colors or something like that. Yeah, I don't know how easy that would be. It would probably take a lot of work. You have to go and touch up all the sprites, and then figure out how to get. See, what a lot of games did was certain layers would be like drawn by the Genesis, and then other layers would be drawn by the 32X, and they'd basically be combined on top of one another. Which is why if you plug a 32X into a Genesis and you don't have the link cable, you can still actually play some games, or get them to run anyway, but graphical layers that are processed by the 32X won't display. You'll only see the layers handled by the Genesis. So if you pop in Knuckles Chaotix, you'll see the background, but you won't see Knuckles or the other characters, because the 32X handles those. And it does, you know, hardware scaling on them. Rotation and scaling. Yeah, that's a great point, Gigaboots. Yeah. Yeah, no drop signals. So if you're doing like Sonic 2, and it switches over to the split screen mode where it's like 480i, it won't do a dropped signal. That's really awesome. Good point. Yeah, not many games use that alternate resolution, but the ones that do, that's very useful. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden. I played a lot of Ninja Gaiden on Game Gear back in the day. I'd like to do that too. Absolutely. My favorite version of Sonic 2, definitely the Genesis one, but I think the Game Gear one is still a great game. I played it a lot. Same with Sonic 1. They're both different games, but they're both fantastic in their own right. I didn't care much for like Sonic Chaos or Triple Trouble, but I do want to go back and try to give them another try. But yeah, the first two Game Gear Sonic games in particular are just really well-made games. You know, great graphics, great music, great gameplay. The level designs seem to be pretty well thought out for the most part. And they run smoothly. Did I ever beat Sonic 2? Yeah. Or Ninja Gaiden? Yeah. Yeah, I beat it. Ninja Gaiden on Game Gear is actually not that tough. You just gotta figure out what to do. Get used to it. I have not played Tales of Adventure. I've seen some reviews on it, so I know what it's like. But I know it's more of like a puzzle platformer. Now you want to go watch one of the Doom PlayStation playthroughs. Well, I've got plenty. I've got plenty, Crestline. I have played the Donkey Kong Lands, mainly just the first one. I never beat it, though. You would run out of time in the last boss on a few playthroughs. Gotcha. The last world in DK Land 1 is you platform on balloons using the Kong letters to create platforms. Interesting. Yeah, I do want to eventually go through at least the first Donkey Kong Land, but every time I fire it up, I just lose interest right away. It's you know, they did a really good job on the game for a Game Boy game. But I'm just so used to the original Donkey Kong Country that it just feels a little jarring to play, so I always lose interest. But I'm going to have to force myself through it. Now that I have a Super NT, I want to do more Game Boy stuff. Because the Game Boy stuff will look really good through the Super Game Boy. But, alrighty, guys, not to let this drag on forever, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. So, you know, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Archive should be up, hopefully, in the morning, no later than that. And, yeah, great playthrough. I had a lot of fun with this, as I expected I would. I love playing Demon's Crest. I always like going back to it once in a while. One of my favorite games on the system, and probably one of my favorite games from the mid-90s, you know, to begin with. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking this out. I don't recommend buying it physically because it's super expensive. But if you want to, you know, if you want to support it, you can buy it on Wii U, I believe. I think it's on the Virtual Console on Wii U. And then for everyone else, you can toss it on a flash card, use emulation. If you have a Super NT, you can get the jailbreak and pop a ROM on an SD card. And it's a great way to play it. But yeah, if you have a Wii U, you can buy it there. I don't think it's on any other Virtual Console service. I mean, obviously the Wii's Virtual Console is long gone now. But the Wii U Virtual Console is still up. So you can buy it there. And I definitely recommend playing this game either way, if you've never played it before. It's fantastic. It holds up very well. I actually kind of feel bad for people that didn't play this in the 90s. But it seems like the game didn't sell that well. Because if it did sell well, I don't think it would be as expensive as it is now. Generally, good games that are expensive are ones that didn't do as well as publishers would have hoped, like Earthbound or Dracula X, you know, stuff like that. So, with some exceptions. But yeah, fantastic game. Highly recommend checking it out. And yeah, definitely give it a go if you haven't done it. Or if you have played it before, and it's been a while, play it again. It's awesome. So, Yeah, no problems, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We had actually a great turnout tonight. Probably my best turnout in a little while. We had like 50 people watching for most of the stream, which was awesome. So thanks, guys, for that. I'll definitely be back with some more retro console stuff, Super Nintendo, Genesis, stuff like that, NES, sometime very soon. I still want to do some more obscure platforms that I haven't been able to cover yet, that I've been talking about covering for months now, but I just keep getting caught up in other things. So we'll definitely be back with some other stuff. Might do another Secret of Mana stream on Saturday, so watch out for that, depending on how I feel. Should be another long one if I actually manage to get to it. New Let's Play will be posted Sunday. It's going to be an NES shoot-'em-up. That relatively obscure NES shoot-'em-up. So watch out for that. If you're a Patreon backer, you got that a couple weeks ago, so go watch out for that. Patreon backers, my next Let's Play should be posted Sunday or Monday. Maybe Tuesday. Hopefully Sunday. I've kind of dilly-daddled on this one, and I meant to record it earlier, but I still have to record it, and I still have to practice for it, actually, but still stay tuned for that, Patreon backers, and for everyone else on YouTube, that next Let's Play will be posted on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. So take it easy, guys. Have yourselves a good night or a good day wherever you are in the world, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have yourselves a good night.